Yes, I know I said I'd try and upload every week, and then I missed literally the first week I was supposed to upload. But hey, I said you wouldn't get spammed if you subscribed, and I sure wasn't wrong about that. Anyway, this video is sort of my own fault. In the last video, I spoke about Ithelia and why I don't like what they did with the character. And I said that with how disappointing I found her to be, it just made the lore issues, despite the fact that it generally didn't bother me, feel unjustified. It just felt like a marketing stunt more than anything. However, I neglected to mention what those lore issues actually were, so here we are. Now, people tend to point to Sheogorath and Jiggalag to argue that the new Daedric Prince coming into being is not new, and in fact we have a few instances of this. Meridia has essentially the same backstory. Malakath came from Trinimac after being eaten. Dagon was actually created by the Magnagi, the same beings Meridia and Ithelia come from. Now, the writers seem to be able to wave away any lore issues by saying Hamiris Mora made everyone forget her and removed all trace of her, but it's such a cop-out answer. Let's actually try and come up with something that works without having to say, well, we know it doesn't work, so everyone forgot long. Now, our main problem is that Elder Scrolls lore gets incredibly vague and put down to interpretation, especially the further back you go, and especially with the lessons of Vivek. In Sermon 21, we are explicitly told that there are 16 Daedric princes, with Sheogorath and Jiggalag being counted as one. But within this text is perhaps a direct counter to this idea: Talos. Okay, so Talos isn't actually mentioned, but it is also stated that there are 8 Aedra. The idea behind all of this is that the Elder Scrolls is shaped like a wheel with 8 spokes and 16 spaces. However, if you add another spoke, as in Talos becoming an Aedra, you add another space. But I hear you cry, Talos only ascended to godhood after his death in the Third Era, which is after the events of the Elder Scrolls Online, and way after Ithelia became a prince. Well, the answer to that lies with Cyrodiil itself. Cyrodiil was once a jungle, and yet it has always been the way it's seen in the Elder Scrolls 4. Talos changed Cyrodiil throughout all of time. This lends credence to the idea that the gods in the Elder Scrolls do in fact exist at all times, even without being present, which means the moment Talos ascended, a spoke was added, and yet it was always there. And to a creature such as Ithelia, a Magnagi, a being with knowledge of creation itself, this could present the perfect opening. Now, of course, this leads to the question of how did Meridia do it? Well, there are a few potential answers. Some stories do say that Archay also started as a mortal and ascended, which could have provided her with an opening too. But again, all of this is based on interpretation and the writings of someone who could be wrong or could be lying. There's really no way of knowing. But this is the only theory I could come up with that explains Ithelia without potentially breaking any established lore, like the stuff with the monomyth or with the lessons of Vivek. I still think the fact that they just made Meridia 2 after hyping her up so much is dumb though. But anyway, what do you think? Am I crazy? Do you have another theory? Let me know down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.